Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's video, I have some breaking news to share with you regarding the EB5 investor visa program. It appears that the investment amount to obtain a green card through EB5 has been lowered from $900,000 to $500,000. And in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about this important update, so make sure to stick around. Hi everyone, my name is Michael Ashoori and I'm a US immigration lawyer based in Los Angeles, California. At my law firm, we work with clients from all 50 states and we regularly post videos to make sure that you're up to date with the latest immigration news. So if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button now. So as I mentioned, in today's video, we're going to share some breaking news with you regarding an update to the EB5 Immigrant Investor Visa Program. And the update has to do with a lawsuit that was filed that appears to be lowering the investment amount from $900,000 to $500,000. This is big news and this is wonderful news for many potential EB5 investors, so let's get into it. So to give you some background information, the EB5 investor visa is a green card option for investors and entrepreneurs. And it basically allows somebody to invest in a US business, and based on making an investment and creating jobs for US workers, the person can get a green card for themselves, for their spouse, and for their children under 21 years old. For many years, the requirement to get an EB5 visa was $500,000 if the investor was investing in a targeted employment area, or $1 million if the investor was making a standard investment outside of a targeted employment area. And this was the investment amount for several years. And in November of 2019, the rules changed for EB5 and the investment amount went from $500,000 as the minimum investment and it jumped to $900,000 as the minimum investment. When these changes took place, it had a chilling effect on the EB5 program because a large portion of the people that were applying for an EB5 visa were just barely able to pull together the money to meet the $500,000 amount. So when the investment amount rose to $900,000, they were unable to pull together the funds to make the required investment. So now let's talk about the update for what's going on right now. Well, after the rules changed for EB5 and the minimum investment amount went to $900,000, a regional center by the name of Bering Regional Center LLC filed a lawsuit challenging this new rule, which increased the investment amount for EB5. And in this lawsuit, there were many challenges raised. Among the challenges raised in this lawsuit was a challenge that the former acting secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Kevin McAleenan, was not properly serving in his position when he promulgated the EB5 modernization final rule. And therefore, the lawsuit argues that these rules, which increased the EB5 minimum investment amount, should be set aside. So the result of this lawsuit was that on June 22nd, federal judge Jacqueline Scott Corley sided with the plaintiffs and granted a motion for summary judgment in favor of the plaintiffs, which invalidated the rule which increased the investment amount for EB5 from $500,000 to $900,000. However, the court did not grant an injunction preventing the current Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security from reinstating the EB5 rules in a manner that is compliant with the appropriate procedures. So I know this sounds like a lot of legal jargon, but let me just give you a quick understanding of what's going on. Basically, a lawsuit was filed to stop this rule which increased the investment amount from $500,000 to $900,000. And the court sided with the plaintiffs to grant their request to invalidate this rule. However, the reason why the court invalidated the rule which increased the EB5 investment amount was due to a procedural error that was made on the part of the Department of Homeland Security. And in the court's ruling, it did not prevent the Department of Homeland Security from correcting the error that it previously made to reenact this rule in a way that's compliant with the regulations. So what does this mean for you? What this means is that As of right now, it's very likely that investors that are seeking to apply for an EB5 visa can apply for their EB5 visa based on making an investment of $500,000, which is something they have been unable to do since back when the rules changed in November of 2019. However, an extremely important point that I want you to know is that it is very likely that this period of time that we're in, where people can file their EB5 case based on making an investment of $500,000, is going to be for a short window of time. Because as we mentioned earlier in this video, the current Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security will likely be reenacting this rule in a manner that is compliant with all the appropriate procedures. So the first important point that I want you to know is that while it is possible that there will be a window of time where people can apply for their EB5 visa based on making an investment of $500,000, it is very likely that this window of time will certainly be limited, and the extent to which this window of time will be limited is something that we're going to learn more and more about in the coming days once we hear a response from USCIS indicating how they are going to proceed. Now, the second important point that I want to mention is that the EB5 Regional Center program is still set to expire on June 30th. If you recall, in the past, I've recorded a video on the current state of the EB5 Regional Center program and how the Regional Center component of the EB5 program will be expiring on June 30th. So if somebody still wishes to proceed with an EB5 investment made in a Regional Center project, they will have to make that investment and file their EB5 petition before the EB5 Regional Center program expires. So for EB5 investors that have been waiting for an opportunity to invest again at the $500,000 amount, this is wonderful news. Again, we are likely going to see a window of time where EB5 investors can make a qualifying EB5 investment for $500,000 instead of $900,000. I hope you guys learned a lot of information from this video. If you know anybody that can benefit from this information, please make sure to share this video with them. At our law firm, we're all about empowering you with knowledge. So the more people that can watch this video that can benefit from this information, the better. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.